Good Sunday morning to you. Roger Hill of Weathering Heights, Velco Weather Hazards Forecaster. This weather video, driven by 802cars.com. It represents 802 Toyota, Twin Cities Subaru, and 802 Honda, all located off of Exit 7 on Interstate 89. This is our main storm system that is producing the steadier stratiform rains. This is more of a convective shot of rain, and all of this is going to be working into Vermont. Mostly the stratiform rains will be arriving late today, later this afternoon, and into a period of this evening. Then a little bit of a breakup, and then we get into a little bit of a dry slot here as this area of low pressure will then track. And also this sort of a band of thunderstorms and embedded thunderstorms within an area of rain showers will be working into the region, it looks like, during the early morning hours to about as late as the mid-morning hours on Monday. But most of this action is going to be happening as we hit toward daybreak, and then roughly a little bit after daybreak, things will be exiting out. And the best chances for thunderstorms could produce some strong gusty winds, tapping into stronger winds aloft and transferring that down to the surface. Best chances for this will be across our local higher terrain of especially the southern four counties of Vermont. We've also had plenty of action down in this extension here with the convection across many areas. We've seen some tornadic thunderstorms. You can see these pop up here as time goes on. There's one across parts of southern portions of Alabama, southern Mississippi. This rolled out earlier, and this is going to be taking a track, and a lot of this jet stream energy is going to roll up that frontal system and in toward the northeast United States. We'll start with the NAM 3-kilometer, courtesy of Tropical Tidbits. Precipitation gets into Vermont, the leading edge. This is roughly about 20 Z, or about 3 o'clock, and as this begins to progress, we see a little steadier rain generally west of the Green Mountains. This is valid by 22 Z, or about 6 o'clock this evening. The shot of mostly light rain and occasionally some moderate rain works into the region for a period of time early to mid-evening. By 01 Z, or about 9 o'clock, this begins to exit out. We get dry slotted a little bit. And you can see the band of thunderstorms associated with that very narrow band. And these things typically are very short-lived, but they can do a little bit of damage as they move on through. Now, you might note that the Adirondacks high peak area kind of breaks this up, and we see a lot less activity crossing into northern portions of Vermont, but it does catch southern portions, and it does shoot up the Connecticut River Valley. So some areas of far eastern Vermont, further north, maybe into the southern part of the Northeast Kingdom, Caledonia County, perhaps Orange County, could see maybe a couple rumbles of thunder mixed in as well. But the main action is really going to be across portions of southern Vermont with this this band here. Using windy.com, we have the European model here overlaid with current thunderstorm activity. And you see there's pretty good thunderstorms across the Gulf of Mexico and the portions of Mississippi, Alabama, and then moving into Georgia. And most of this heavy action is really across the southern Gulf coastal region. So we'll jump to this evening. This area of thunderstorms now works its way north into the Ohio River Valley, and it enters parts of western Pennsylvania and into the far western part of New York State. These are 3-hour jumps, so this is the European model. So thunderstorms fairly widespread across portions of central New York, including the western and southern Adirondacks. Watch what happens here. Some of that makes it into Vermont. Now this is valid at 09 Z, that is 4 o'clock in the morning. And we can see a little bit of that action cut across the southern four counties of Vermont and parts of western Addison County. And then it's pretty much out of here. Okay, so at the same time as those storms begin to work through the region, we have an impulse of winds aloft, a stronger flare-up, and it's those purples really we're watching. Those are over 64 knots at 850 hectopascals. So even the darker reds there are starting to interact with some of the precipitation. Most of that stays up high, but right during this impulse here, when this line of storms works on through, we have a maximum amount of wind also swinging through. They're both basically hand in hand. One is creating the other. So as that works on through, some of those winds could be briefly gusting up in the 40 to 50, maybe 55 mile an hour range, with some of the highest gusts across our local summits of the Green Mountains. And again, a very short-lived situation here, but worthy of note for utilities, for the possibility of some impacts during the early morning hours tomorrow. Doesn't look like a big deal, but it is a flare-up, and then it's pretty much out of here. The next situation, see if I can carry that over, is going to be once this area of low pressure departs. This is going to be valid on Tuesday. This is generally Monday night. You can see those wind gusts with good mixing conditions works into the region, especially early in the morning hours on Tuesday, and then carrying through about noon or so. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights. Thanks for watching.